The Galactic Federation loves mathematics. They calculate victories in percentages and survival in numbers. And when the evil machine army known as the Oblivion Corps attacked the peaceful colony of Varian Prime, the math was simple. Abandon the children. Save the adult warriors. Run away. The leaders decided that children were too slow, too weak, and used too much oxygen. But they forgot one important thing. They forgot what happens when you tell a human that a child is not important. Sergeant. Marcus Vance did not care about the cold numbers. He did not care about the spreadsheets or the calculations of the high commanders. He only cared about the 19 crying children trapped in the burning lower city. At the space docks, there was total panic and terror. The Fenrir were a proud, strong race of wolf-like alien warriors. They were huge, powerful, covered in thick fur, and feared across the entire galaxy. They had fought alongside humans for 10 long years as loyal allies. But today, they were completely broken. The rescue spaceships were leaving fast. But the rules from the High Council were strict. Only adults could board the transports. The leaders said the adults could have more children later, but the warriors were needed to fight the war tomorrow. It was a cold, heartless choice made by military computers. Among the crying crowd was the ultimate pack leader, Alpha Mother Thyra. She was a legendary warrior who had defeated hundreds of enemies in battle. Now, she was held back by blue energy shields, watching her home burn to ash, and knowing her 3 little cubs were trapped in the fire miles away. She begged the officers. She screamed at the glass walls, but the computers said no. There was no time, and there was no room. Suddenly, the security alarm started flashing red. A single life sign was walking out of the dark smoke of the dead zone. It was not a vehicle. It was not a rescue ship. It was just one single human soldier walking slowly on foot. As the dark smoke cleared, Marcus Vance staggered into the light of the landing bay. His heavy metal combat suit was broken, scorched black, and throwing bright yellow sparks. His helmet glass was completely smashed, showing his dirty, blood-stained face. In his arms, he held a tiny, silver-furred alien pup wrapped in a torn blanket. But he was not alone. Tied to his heavy armor with long, thick climbing ropes was a line of 18 more alien children. They were coughing, limping, and terrified, holding on to each other's paws. But they were all alive. Marcus had completely disobeyed his direct orders to retreat. He had thrown away his heavy plasma rifle, his missiles, and all his bullets just to make his suit light enough to carry the extra weight. He had filled every single pouch with medical kits, water bottles, and thermal blankets instead. For 12 long hours, he had walked through a literal hell on Earth. He had used his own armored body as a physical shield to protect the alien children from falling buildings in enemy laser fire. His suit's computer was flashing warning lights, screaming that he was bleeding inside. His ribs were broken, and he was running out of oxygen. But he refused to drop a single child. He had dragged them through the mud, through the fire, and through the enemy lines. Thyra did not care about the guards, the guns, or the rules anymore. She let out a loud, terrifying roar and ran right through the electric energy field, knocking down 2 security officers. But she did not attack the human. Marcus dropped heavily to his knees because his legs were too tired to stand anymore. His power suit ran completely out of battery and froze. With his last bit of strength, he gently placed the small silver pup into her massive, shaking hands. The giant alien warrior, who had never shown fear or weakness in her entire life, looked into the tired, bloody eyes of the human soldier. She saw the deep burns on his bare arms. She saw the sharp piece of metal stuck deep in his shoulder. He had walked through fire and ruined his own life for children that were not even human, slowly and carefully. The powerful Alpha Mother lowered her giant body to the ground. She pressed her forehead directly against Marcus's dirty, ash-stained combat boots. This was the absolute highest sign of respect, submission, and an eternal life debt among her people. Her species had never bowed to an outsider in 1,000 years of history then. Something amazing happened that the commanders never expected. One by one, the 19 other alien parents ran through the security gates, ignoring the shouting guards. And one by one, looking at their saved children, they all fell to their knees. A whole army of the galaxy's fiercest, most dangerous warriors was now bowing in the dirt before a single, dying human soldier who refused to give up, Commander Vale. The cold alien leader of the entire fleet stepped forward with his elite guards. He looked down at Marcus and spoke with a cold, metallic voice. "Sergeant Vance, you broke direct military orders. You put this whole evacuation ship at risk for children who cannot fight in the war. We do not have any physical room or cargo space on this spaceship for these extra numbers. The math does not allow it." Thyra stood up immediately, her massive 8-foot frame blocking the commander from touching the weak human. Her eyes flared with a deadly yellow anger, and her claws slid out. "Then we will make room," Thyra growled, and her deep voice shook the very metal walls of the hangar. "If you leave one single child behind on this burning planet, my entire army will stay here and die with them. We will turn our weapons on your ships. And this human? He boards the main luxury ship before any of us, or we will destroy this entire spaceship with our bare hands." The security guards froze and slowly lowered their guns. Nobody in their right mind wanted to fight an entire army of angry, protective parents. The computers and the cold math failed that day. The crew managed to fit every single soul onto the spaceships. When the regular workers and alien crew members saw what the human soldier had done, all military rules completely disappeared. The engineers threw out millions of dollars of expensive cargo, weapons, and luxury gear into the dirt just to create extra standing room. The high officers gave up their private bedrooms and slept on the floor. The soldiers shared their private food and water rations with the hungry children. When Marcus finally opened his eyes in the spaceship's medical room 3 days later, it was completely quiet. The bright lights were turned down low. Thyra was sitting right next to his bed on the floor, watching over his breathing. While the little silver pup was sleeping peacefully at his feet, she handed him a heavy silver medal carved with ancient, glowing symbols. It was the special mark of the Prime Guardian, the absolute greatest honor her civilization could ever give to a living being. Marcus looked at the medal through blurry eyes and spoke with a weak, rough voice. "I was just doing my job. Any soldier would do it." Thyra shook her head gently, a soft look in her wild eyes. "No, you were being human. And the galaxy will never forget what that word means from this day on, because humanity's greatest weapon is not their giant starships, or laser cannons, or their advanced technology. It is their beautiful, stubborn, completely illogical refusal to leave anyone behind, even when the computers say it is impossible, even when the world is ending. Especially then, if this story touched your heart and reminded you of the true strength of humanity, make sure to smash that like button right now. Don't miss our next epic journey into the stars. Click that subscribe button and turn on all notifications to join our growing community here at Luna Cub Tales. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you in the next tale.